Dum dum. Na 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 na. Hello everyone, MJ1990 here, and welcome to Le Gourmet Chef. Actually, no. Welcome to Ragefest Gaiden. And we're back to this submission. I do not like this submission very much, so I'm going to put it on speed up. Okay, so basically this chapter has almost no twists. It's pretty much purely just gameplay with some parts where the creator threw in like a twist here and there. Otherwise, it's just completely unfascinating. So, the beginning of the chapter is, however, I will admit, pretty well designed because enemies are positioned and timed in such a way that you will always be fighting like a small group of enemies each turn. It's got a sort of Dawn Project unit chaining thing going for it where, like, attacking one enemy puts you in the range of another. So it's got, like, you know, it's pretty neat. Unfortunately, after that challenging bit, which, yeah, it was pretty challenging. I had to do a lot of thinking, but, after that bit, the chapter loses almost all of its momentum. The enemies start to come a lot slower. There's a lot of turns where you're just doing nothing, and it's just really boring. As I said before, there is a twist that's pulled later on, but we probably won't get to that in this video. Holy crap, this is going super fast. But anyway, the goal of the chapter is you want to train up Ponage Dwarf, who's our little shaman dude, because he's the only guy who can damage the boss. He becomes super powerful once you have him fully trained up. And you want to make sure you get every single level out of him as you can, because, trust me, it's very important. Oh, looks like we're up to the next part. Okay, so let's play the next part. The other, Timaeus, who's our swordmaster, is also a pretty good unit, but he won't be able to damage the boss, and, well, stuff. I will say the one problem with Ponage Dwarf is that Dark Tomes are really short in supply in this hack, so you really gotta use him carefully, and you need, like, a certain amount of Luna Tomes in order to damage the boss, because that's your only way of damaging him. But aside from that, there's really nothing else that this chapter has that's really worth talking about. I mean, we'll get to some other stuff later, but I'm just gonna take most of this time to rant. Because I do not appreciate being given crappy Ragefest submissions like this. This is not what Ragefest is about. Ragefest is about funny, interesting hacks that have, like, really interesting ideas and are creative, but are also really goddamn hard and will make you want to tear your hair out. And it's like designed to piss you off, but to be doable. Like, that's how I feel Ragefest should be. Funny, interesting, but hard as fuck. And I feel that Cedar Nix's submission from Ragefest 1 perfectly encompasses what I expect to see. Albeit I don't think I want it nearly as long because there's only so much I can do before I just get tired. Like, oh yeah, and I promoted Ponage Dwarf, by the way, and he's super awesome. Like, I'm not gonna show you his stats, but he's really goddamn powerful. But anyway, yeah, Cedar Nix's submission really did a good job encompassing what I like to see in Ragefest, and unfortunately, it seems like people aren't really following that. Like, a lot of people are just making like super self-aware bad hacks. And I don't want crappy. I want some decent quality, and I think that might be demanding a bit much from a lot of people. But like, I don't think anybody is really fascinated watching me play boring hacks like this, where almost no creativity is applied in it, except for maybe the unit placement. But again, that loses its flair after a while. So next part. Oh yeah. We have some dialogue. I should probably not, like, screw this part up. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Oh man. Liberals. Political humor. Okay, so, anyway. Yeah, so, our dudes are closing in, and this guy gets all pissed off, and he's like, "Arrgh!" Exactly like that. And once again, this hack is way too self-aware. There was something about FE Lover 3's submission that made it so funny, and it used that self-awareness and crappiness to really make it worthwhile. But this is like, this is just crap. This is not funny. This is just boring. And maybe it's because I'm just really stone-faced or something, and I just find nothing funny, which I don't deny, because I don't have a sense of humor. But this, like, I don't see how anybody would find this funny. It's just, let's throw in a whole bunch of jokes that don't even work, and it'll work. It'll work. Yeah. 700%. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this chick is apparently some person from Fox News or whatever. I don't watch the news because I don't want to be depressed. So I have no idea what this is talking about. I can only assume that, like, this is some person who really hates liberals or something. And politics, like, I really hate how politics are handled by, like, the news. They're always like, "Oh!" Actually, I don't know anything about the news. I lied. I'm a liar! Just like these people. Oh, woot! Okay, well, that's good. So yeah, what else to say about this chapter? Oh yeah, those guys show up. There's like a graybeard guy who... they're all really powerful. This is basically to prevent you from, like, turtling or something. And, oh yeah, I'm over here now. And the reason why is because for most of the chapter, nothing really interesting happened, and this is where stuff actually started to happen. And I should probably put this on speed up again, so let's do that. Oh yeah, she has a weapon called Fox News, and it's like super inaccurate and imbalanced. Just like the real Fox News. I shit you not, that's the actual joke that's put in the description. But, yeah, you want to avoid those guys because they are more than a match for your fuckers, and I just lost a unit. Hooray! So let's play the next footage! Oh man, this is so exciting. Oh man, I think I made my point that I want my Ragefest submissions to be interesting, funny, and ridiculously hard. So I'm not going to go into that further, but, like, I just really hate submissions like these. I always feel like the person just wanted me to play their submission and didn't really care whether it was good or not. They just wanted to see me play it, just so they could show their friends or something. And you know what? I understand that feeling. Like, it's really great to see someone play your game. I remember when I was still friends with Burning Penitent Engine, and he was playing my Fire Emblem hack. It felt really good every time. It was exciting to see him play it. So I can understand the feeling, but you gotta, like, you really gotta... I feel like I'm being taken advantage of when people give me these crappy hacks for them to play. I don't wanna play this stuff. It's just not fun for me. I mean, figuring out how to beat this chapter was kind of fun, but as you see, the map is just way too big. It makes doing a lot of things just really tedious. And it, like, what bothers me most is just the lack of thought put into it. I mean, again, it seemed like there was thought put into the beginning because the enemies were well placed and stuff, but it just feels so half-hearted, and it feels, I don't know. It just makes me feel a little depressed, feeling like I'm like everybody's clown, I guess. I'm not even a funny guy, but oh well. I guess some people find me funny and I'll never understand why, but whatever. Oh yeah, there's something else about this chapter that really annoys me. Almost all these enemies have a goddamn door key. I don't know why. Probably meant to irritate me, which it did a good job at, because it pauses the action just long enough to just trigger the anger things and the... oh yeah, I should probably not skip that. Alright, well basically what she said is a whole bunch of, like, philosophical stuff, and she admits that the creator of the hack, basically just copy-pasted his philosophy essay into her dialogue, which, if you actually read it, it actually makes quite a lot of sense. Oh yeah, and she's just like, oh, enjoy the exactas that I just gave you because I died. And she does some more philosophical shit and says, oh, I bet you're gonna miss that. But yeah, you read it and it's actually kind of fascinating. And I mean, I'm sure that most people wouldn't really understand it. I had trouble understanding it too, until I really paid attention to it. But yeah, I wouldn't really consider it funny. And oh, next part. Let's find out what happens on the next exciting episode. Okay, so this is HHH. I gotta remember that. So this is basically where the chapter turns into a clusterfuck of enemies. And this actually works against the creator's intentions because it goes past the 50 enemy limit. For those of you who don't know, there's actually a maximum number of units you can have per alliance. And for each it's 50, so you can only have 50 playable units on your side and 50 enemy units, and I think that also goes for NPC units. Like, I think NPCs and enemies share the same alliance thing, like the same max together or something. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, oh yeah, and she says some inaccurate stuff about Fox. I'm really not doing this hack any justice by doing this, but oh wow, I lost a dude. I think I had to restart. Honestly, I really I had trouble recording it. I'm just not in the mood to show everything this hack has to offer. If you want, you could play it yourself and you could see the dialogue for yourself, but it's really nothing worth scoffing at. I feel like such a dick. Like, I hate not showing the dialogue because I complained about it when Astro Luna Sol skipped dialogue in my Ragefest submission because I worked hard on it, and even though the story was complete and utter shit, I still want people to see it. Oh, there's another guy dead. Hopefully we'll get to that. Hopefully I'll restart and you'll see the Fox News dialogue. Oh, man. So, yeah. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the clusterfuck. Yeah. So basically, on each and every turn, enemies are supposed to spawn from like all these stairways and whatnot. But because the enemy unit cap has been reached, they don't spawn. So it ends up actually helping me because it makes it so I don't have to deal with as many enemies blocking my way, and it's mainly just enemies in the back that I have to worry about, and most of them aren't that difficult to handle. It's really just their quantities that's a problem, but I digress. And I think here is where I'm gonna go and be like, oh, I fucked up, and then I just start over or something. By the way, if I hadn't had this at like 50 billion speed, this would have taken like, what, 2 hours? I'm looking at the timer right now, and it says I haven't even wasted 14 minutes, but in my previous attempt at recording this, I was over 20 minutes, and I wasn't even past the first part. So that should give you an idea of how incredibly tedious this is, even with the cutting I did. And here's where I make it to the thingy room, and then it just screws me over because of an unlucky crit. Alright, so I was at HHH, so let's go to I. So here, basically, I disarmed I disarmed Ponage Dwarf so that he could do a luck dodge. He could serve as, like, dodge bait. And I mainly have that footage just to show you how I did it. I just gave him the staff. And I think here I'm, like, showing what's in the chest or something. Oh, wait, no, I show how I got my units up to the boss by teleporting them using the warp staff that I got. And, yeah. So okay, so this was J. And here's where I actually fight the boss. And he actually does have some dialogue, so I'm going to not make this super fast. Okay. Thankfully I know this dialogue is coming up, so now you can see it. So yeah, he's like, oh yeah, you only had 19 HP, you've grown so much. Oh yeah, and you need 20 Luna uses, or else you're not gonna be able to beat me. and I have elixirs, and I'm going to use him. Which, by the way, funny he should mention that. I actually know an exploit in the AI that makes it so that the artificial intelligence doesn't use their elixirs, but they're still within killing range. And I actually used this up against this boss. So his bragging about, oh yeah, I'm gonna use up these elixirs. Yeah, he's talking out of his ass because I know an exploit, and I'm glad I do, because if not, this guy would have taken forever. But, cheapness begets cheapness, you know what they say! Alright, so in a few of the chests, I actually checked a few of them. One has a Luna, one has a Nosferatu, one's got a Warp Staff. I think one of them has an Iron Rune. The one with the Iron Rune, I think, is like right next to the boss. I don't remember what's in the other ones. I think there's a Brave Axe. And oh wow. And yeah, he's dodge tanking right there, my assassin guy. And here's the epic battle that I actually failed in, because this is a failed attempt still. So let's speed this up. Oh man, this is exciting! Can't believe we're already up to the second to last footage. Oh yeah, he uses elixir here. Remember, this is a failed attempt, and I hadn't quite remembered the AI exploit yet, so I was basically just wailing down on him for a while. And then eventually, I believe my assassin dies, and the enemies start closing in, and it becomes basically impossible for me to win. So instead of showing you that, I'm just going to skip straight to the point and show you me beating the boss. And here we go. Basically, I exploited his AI so that he wouldn't use the elixir, and he was in killing range, and he didn't get to use a single one. And he's like, "Oh, you beat me? Holy crap!" And we have to mention at least, I think this hack mentioned at least 3 fucking times that Ponage Dwarf has specifically 19 HP. Was it really so funny that you had to mention it 3 fucking times? Oh my god. And then the hack just ends and puts you in the last chapter, as it says. It says this is the last chapter, but it's not. This is the Gaiden right before the last chapter on Hector mode, and which you can only get if you did a whole bunch of arbitrary shit. So I actually just dicked around in this chapter for a moment, and then I realized, oh shit, wait, I can't use magic. Well, I'm done. I love how the video ended right as I said that. So yeah. Sorry I really didn't do justice to this hack by showing all of its dialogue, but I'm sorry, dude. This is like, I hate the fact that you wasted so much of my time on your crappy fucking submission anyway, so I guess this is like revenge for me. I don't know. I feel like I'm an asshole, but whatever. I don't want to have to deal with this hack. I honestly don't feel it deserves the effort that I usually put into these submissions. Though that may be subjective, because some people may think I'm a terrible guy at commentary. But whatever. See you next time, hopefully for something more interesting and better.